Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. Let me ask you something. Have you ever talked about something with a friend, and then suddenly started seeing ads for it everywhere? You mention a pair of shoes. A few hours later, you're seeing shoes on Instagram. You search for them once, and suddenly YouTube seems to know exactly what you're interested in. And you start thinking, wait, is my phone listening to me? The truth is actually more interesting. Because sometimes, companies don't need to listen to your conversations. They can learn a surprising amount just by watching what you do online. And that's where something called surveillance capitalism comes in. Today, I'm going to make this incredibly simple. You'll understand what surveillance capitalism is, how your everyday behavior becomes valuable, why companies are so interested in predicting what you'll do next, and most importantly, what you can do to take back some control. And stay until the end, because I'll give you a simple privacy check you can do on your phone today. So, let's start with the basic question. What exactly is surveillance capitalism? The name sounds complicated, but the idea isn't. Imagine you walk into your favorite coffee shop. You buy the same coffee every morning. Now imagine that, instead of only selling you coffee, the shop secretly keeps track of when you arrive, what you order, how long you stay, what you buy afterward, and what you're likely to buy tomorrow. One piece of information doesn't seem very valuable. But put thousands of those pieces together, and suddenly the shop knows a lot about you. That's basically the idea we're talking about. In simple terms, surveillance capitalism is a business model where information about people's behavior is collected, analyzed, and used to make predictions that can have economic value. And here's the part that surprises people. Your data isn't just your name, email address, or phone number. It's your behavior. What you search for. What you watch. What you click. How long you watch something. Where you go. What you buy. What you ignore. Sometimes even what you almost clicked. Think about that for a second. You might think, I didn't buy anything. I just watched the video. But that view is still a signal. And one signal by itself may mean almost nothing. The interesting part happens when thousands of signals are combined. Think of it like a giant puzzle. One piece doesn't tell you much. But give someone hundreds or thousands of pieces, and suddenly they can start seeing the bigger picture. Now imagine that puzzle is being updated every single day. That's where things get really interesting. Let's say it's 10 p.m., you open YouTube. You watch a video about expensive headphones. You don't buy anything. You just watch. Then you watch a gaming video. A little later, you search for a gaming laptop. The next day, you see an advertisement for gaming laptops. And you think, wow, how did they know? But the system may not actually know what you're thinking. It doesn't have to. It can look at patterns. You watch this. Then you searched for that. Then you click this. And based on similar behavior from millions of other people, the system can make a prediction. Maybe you're interested in gaming. Maybe you're thinking about buying a laptop. Maybe you're likely to click an advertisement. And that prediction can be incredibly valuable. Because advertisers don't simply want to show ads to everyone. They want to reach people who are more likely to care. Think about a billboard beside a highway. Thousands of people drive past it. But the advertiser has no idea who's actually interested. Online, targeting can be much more specific. Instead of saying, let's show this advertisement to everyone, the goal can become, let's show it to people who are more likely to be interested. That's a huge difference. But there's another layer to this. It's not just about understanding what you did. It's about predicting what you might do next. Think about Netflix. You watch a few crime documentaries. Then you watch a thriller. Then another crime series. Eventually, the system gets better at predicting what you might enjoy. That's recommendation technology. And recommendation technology can be incredibly useful. But now take that same basic idea and apply it to other parts of the internet. What video might keep you watching? What headline might make you click? What product might interest you? What notification might make you come back? What content might keep your attention for another 10 minutes? Suddenly, we're not just talking about remembering what you did. We're talking about predicting behavior. And that's where the subject gets much more interesting. Because if a system becomes really good at predicting what you're likely to do, could it also become really good at influencing what you do? Let's make that simple. Imagine you're walking through a supermarket. You didn't plan to buy chocolate. You're just there to buy milk. Then, right beside the checkout, you see a giant display of your favorite chocolate. You weren't planning to buy it. But you see it. You think about it. And suddenly, it's in your basket. That's influence. Digital platforms can create similar moments, but on a massive scale. Instead of one supermarket deciding what you see, algorithms can personalize content for millions of people. And here's the really interesting part. The system can learn from your reaction. You click? It learns. You ignore it? It learns. You watch for 5 seconds and leave? It learns. You watch for 20 minutes? It learns that too. Every interaction can become another signal. And that creates something called a feedback loop. Don't let the technical name scare you. It's basically this: the system shows you something. You react. The system learns from your reaction. Then it shows you something different. You react again. And the system learns again. It's like having someone constantly adjusting what they're showing you based on what catches your attention. Over time, the system can become better at predicting what will keep you engaged. And that's one reason your feed can sometimes feel strangely addictive. You don't have to consciously decide, I'm going to spend another hour scrolling. You just keep finding one more interesting thing. One more video. One more post. One more recommendation. And suddenly, an hour is gone. Now, before we make this sound like technology is automatically evil, let's stop there. Because that's not the point. Personalization can be genuinely useful. Your Maps app can predict traffic. Your streaming service can recommend something you'll love. A search engine can give you more relevant results. These things can make technology feel easier and more helpful. The important question isn't simply, is personalization bad? The better question is, what information am I giving away, and what am I getting in return? Because many online services are free to use. But free doesn't always mean there's no economic value involved. Your attention has value. Your behavior has value. And information about your interests can have value. The good news is, you don't need to throw your phone away and disappear from the internet. You can take practical steps right now. And you don't have to become a privacy expert. Let's make this simple. First, check your app permissions. Open your phone's privacy settings. Look at which apps can access your location, microphone, camera, contacts, and photos. Then ask yourself one simple question: does this app actually need that? A calculator probably doesn't need your contacts. A simple game probably doesn't need your microphone. And an app that you barely use probably doesn't need constant access to your location. If something doesn't make sense, turn it off. Second, check your location settings. Location information can reveal a lot about your daily life. Where you regularly go. Where you spend time. Your routines. Even places you visit frequently. You don't necessarily need to disable location everywhere. Some apps genuinely need it. Maps obviously needs your location to give you directions. But ask whether an app needs your location all the time, or only while you're using it. That small distinction matters. Third, look at your advertising and personalization settings. Many major platforms give you controls over how your experience is personalized. Take a few minutes to look through them. You might discover that the system has inferred interests you didn't even realize you had shared. And here's another simple habit. Stop automatically clicking accept. You know that moment when a website shows you a cookie pop-up? You're in a hurry. You just want to read the article. So you hit accept and move on. I get it. We've all done it. But occasionally, slow down. Ask yourself, do I really need to accept all of this? You don't have to obsess over every setting. Just become more intentional. And there's one mindset shift I think is even more important. Don't think about privacy as, I have nothing to hide. Think about it as, I should have a choice about what I share. Think about your home. You close the curtains at night. Not because you're doing something wrong. You close them because privacy is normal. Digital privacy is similar. It's not about hiding something. It's about having control. And let's be realistic. None of us are going to become completely invisible online. That's not the goal. The goal is awareness. Know what you're sharing. Know why you're sharing it. And don't let every default setting make the decision for you. Now, let's go back to that weirdly accurate advertisement. The next time an ad appears and you think, how on earth did they know I wanted this? Don't automatically assume someone is personally listening to you. Sometimes, something much more complicated is happening. Millions of data points, patterns, algorithms, predictions, and systems designed to estimate what you're likely to do next. And that's what makes surveillance capitalism so fascinating. The most valuable information about you might not be something you deliberately gave away. It can be hidden inside ordinary behavior. The videos you watch, the searches you make, the places you visit, the products you look at, the things you click, and even the things you ignore. Once you understand that, you start looking at the internet differently. So here's your challenge. After this video, open your phone's privacy settings. Check just 3 things: location, microphone, and app permissions. That's it. You don't have to change everything today. Just understand what's happening. And if you discover something surprising, tell us about it in the comments. Maybe you've found an app asking for access that makes absolutely no sense. Maybe you've discovered a privacy setting you didn't know existed. Or maybe you've had an experience where an advertisement felt almost too accurate. Share it. Because I don't want this comment section to be just a place where people say, "Great video." I want it to become a place where we actually help each other. Share your experience. Answer someone else's question. Exchange privacy tips. Make new friends. And if someone has a concern you've already solved, help them out. I'll personally reply to your comments, and your experience might help someone else who is dealing with the exact same thing. Because technology shouldn't make us feel powerless. The more we understand what's happening behind the screen, the more control we have over how we use it. And maybe that's the biggest lesson here. You don't need to fear technology. You just need to understand the trade-off. Because the moment you understand how your data can create value, you stop being completely passive. You start asking better questions. What am I sharing? Who gets access to it? Why do they need it? And what am I getting in return? Those questions might seem small, but they can completely change the way you use the internet. If you found this video helpful, hit like and subscribe to IQ Tech Nova for more tech tips.